What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Mostly Wrong Opinions. I am Tyrone. That is Devin. Wait! Before we get to this delicious episode, please hit that subscribe button down at the bottom right here. It really does help us out. Our subscriber count has been going up, and it's because of you. All right? This film is out right now. This film is called The Menu.
Good evening. Welcome to Hawthorne. It'll be our pleasure to feed you.
I did see an interview of Nicholas Hoult and Anya Taylor-Joy. They were saying that it's a mix between Hell's Kitchen and Squid Games. I was like, not really?
Yeah, see, I didn't think that at all. I thought this was more of a mix of Pig and Midsummer. That's what I thought.
I see that. I totally understand that. So this movie takes place in the chef's restaurant called Hawthorne. Hawthorne is for exclusive guests, people with exclusive palates.
And a whole boatload of money, because you need a lot of money, because it's like, what do you say, like $1,200 a plate. So this is this is top-notch Michelin star type of restaurant.
I get scared at $50 a plate. and when it comes to $50 a plate, I don't want to see the food that I saw in this film on my plate. If it's $50 a plate, I better be covering up the whole surface area of the plate, okay?
Well, this is another level of dining. Like the guy said, don't eat. You're not supposed to eat his food. You're supposed to taste it. You're supposed to experience it, you know?
Do not eat. Taste. Savor. Relish. Consider every morsel that you place inside your mouth. Be mindful, but do not eat.
Live it and love it, all of that stuff. You're not supposed to just eat his food like a fucking dog. You know?
Shoot. So it takes place there where all these rich people are coming in to taste his food. John Leguizamo plays an actor who's some full of himself actor. Who's like, yeah, he's my best friend, you know? Yeah, he's my best friend. I know him.
He's a self-described name-dropping whore.
He said that. Nicholas Hoult character is a groupie, a major groupie. And Anya Taylor-Joy is just here along for the ride because she wasn't even supposed to be there in the first place.
Right. It would appear as though Nicholas Hoult just got out of a bad relationship and Anya Taylor-Joy is the new girl. And he decided to impress his new girl by going to this exclusive, super expensive restaurant, which you had to take a boat out to because it's on a secluded island. So they take the boat out, and already it would also appear. I have to be careful with my words here because I want to get the spoilers in a second, but not just yet. But it also appear both people are starstruck immediately. You know, they're like, "Wow, is that John Leguizamo?" I can't remember his character's name. They're like, "I love this movie." Another character sees a guy. And she's like staring at him, and she's like, "Oh my goodness!" Like, and you could tell she recognizes him. And the movie makes you think, like, "Oh, he must be someone important too," that we'll learn about later. But that's not exactly the case.
He's important, but not in the way that we see.
Not in that way. Yeah.
You know?
And that's the cool thing about this movie is it sets up all these expectations, and then once everything's revealed, you're like, "Oh," because I didn't even know the genre of this film when I walked into it. I thought this was going to be a drama about, you know, how messed up the food industry was maybe. But it's actually more of a horror film, which I was pleasantly surprised to find myself sitting in the theater watching a horror film. Was not expecting that. Not this close to Christmas.
You expected to see some type of Oscar bait type of film, huh?
That's what I thought I was getting myself into. I was like, here we go.
All the stars in this film.
Yeah. Nope, it wasn't that at all. Everybody was having a good time though.
Yeah, everybody was having a good time, you could tell. The weird thing about this film is the sous chefs, or the, is that what they call them? The chef assistants? They all live there on that island too.
Yeah, and that's your first hint that something is really freaking weird here, right? They're like, "You live here?" They're like, "Yes, we don't just serve food, we live the food." And he's like, but you don't have to like live here for that, do you?
Yeah, and it was like, what do you do in your free time? It was like, free time? And you got guards. This is about eating. There's guards that are at the door. You know what I'm saying? And they're watching their every move. Ralph Fiennes puts on a great performance in this film.
He does, yeah.
Where he is very stoic. He is very direct. He is very intentional with every word that he says. And he starts off every single course that he has, at the first course, second course, with a... And that got very annoying, you know,
purposefully
annoying throughout the film. And it was just brilliant. It was brilliant acting.
At first you think, well, he's only scary to like his employees, right? Because he's a strict boss. No, this is someone you should fear because he's not. Something's off. Something has broken in his mind. So let's go straight into spoilers here.
Spoilers if you haven't seen it.
His character reminded me a lot of Nicolas Cage's character in Pig. But in Pig, where Nicolas Cage's character got sad and secluded and maybe a little bit self-destructive, but not like that much. He really just wanted to be left alone. Ralph Fiennes is full-on self-destructive. He is like, I'm killing everybody here. I'm hurting everybody here. I'm pissed off. I'm angry. My life is not where I wanted to be, even though I've got everything. The service industry has broken him into pieces, and he is ready to get his. And one of the things I liked was that he seemed to be self-aware of how stupid the Michelin star restaurant food and the food scene is. He's like, when he goes on and on about bread, he's like, oh, bread is one of the first things everyone got. It's great for poor people, but you guys aren't poor, so you're not getting any bread.
Bread. It is and has always been the food of the common man. And so tonight, you get no bread.
So here's your dipping sauces. It's a course 2, just sauce. And the sauces are like this small, and like you can't really eat it. He's like, what? But so what's cool is I liked how the movie went from table to table to show everybody's reactions, right? We got Nicholas Hoult, who is just like you said, a groupie. He's like, oh, these sauces are delicious. We don't even need bread. Oh, it's so great.
Like,
and
what's in this?
Anya Taylor-Joy is like, what the fuck is this? Like, I'm hungry. Where the food at? And then the food critic, she's like, I think what he's trying to say is, I think he's trying to use your expectation. She's doing what we do.
Yeah,
trying to think too hard about it. And then the gym bros are like, I ain't having this. Hey, bread, bring me some bread. I liked how we got to learn everything about this very large cast.
Ralph Fiennes lost his way because of
his love for food. His passion for food because of these type of people. Exactly.
And
the pressure to be who he became. He lost his way. And
he was just back in the day, which I don't know what type of digital work they did right here. It
looked great. I think that was actually him.
Where when he was a young boy, he was just a simple fry cook. SpongeBob SquarePants and it up in the back, bro.
Exactly. With the hamburger and all, a Krabby Patty and all. Man.
You know what I'm saying? And
he was smiling from ear to ear. He was enjoying himself at this old dirty ass restaurant cooking greasy burgers. And now he's cooking foo-foo stuff and he's angry and mad and stuck up. And he lost his way.
Did you know that the director of this film is Mark Mylod? That's his last name. But he directed an Ali G film.
Ali G.
Yeah, man. He directed an Ali G film. I don't know what else he directed, but you go from Ali G to this.
Tyrone, I've been saying it the whole time. I think horror and humor shake hands.
Shake hands, man.
In your brain somehow, So that makes sense.
Almost every single time we've seen a director who directed comedy, but then he directed horror, it's a perfect mix.
It's great, right? It's really works. Jordan Peele, excuse me.
Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele is a basketball player. Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele. The guy who did Barbarian.
What? Huh? I don't know why you're looking up at me, bitch. Plays on stage.
Like, yeah, horror and humor, man. For some reason, it's something about your mind. I don't know why. It kind of like cross wires.
You're one of the funniest people out there. You were for a very long time putting out some of the funniest content, and now it's just like scary shit.
Is it weird that I think it's funny? Is it? I think the comedy part of my career is still going. I think it's still active.
Wow.
And part of that, I talk about it as sort of like the difference between comedy and horror is the music. And it really does, it does feel like that.
The main reason why Ray Fiennes is doing this is because these people and people like these people that is in this restaurant are very cruel people. They are disrespectful. They are bougie. They don't care about the little man.
No, they lie, they cheat, they steal money. Like, the movie goes around and explains essentially why every character is actually a scumbag, right? It's like John Leguizamo is, so pompous and mean and rude, and then his assistant steals money from him, and then we got this other table, this old couple. Turns out they've been cheating on each other for a million years.
Not only does she steal money from him, she doesn't even have to steal money because he asked her at a certain part of the film where he already told everybody they're going to die because of these things. And she's like, well, what about me? He's like, what school you go to? He's like, Brown. And he's like, on a scholarship? She's like, no, you're gonna die.
Did you have student loans?
Yeah,
like, no. It's like, so you didn't have to steal that money. Exactly. She was just stealing to be an asshole. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
So, and then the little tech bros, I called them gym bros earlier, but the tech bros, they're skimming money off the top, and and he knows about all this stuff. And like you said, I like the way you said it, because the way you phrased it. It wasn't necessarily that these people were people individually that he wanted to kill. It was people like this. He didn't like these types of people. And he clearly didn't like himself. He clearly didn't like his crew because he's going to kill all those people too, right?
Which they're like brainwashed in this whole situation.
Yeah, I guess so. The only exception was Anya Taylor-Joy. Because he was like, you messing my plan up. You're not like these people. You don't belong here, Margot, if that is your name.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't belong here. I know a service industry professional when I see one. I know a jaded, angry person just like me when I see one, and you don't belong here. So what are you doing here?
And he's like, you're going to have 10 minutes to decide, are you with us or are you one of them?
In order to proceed, I have to know where to seat you. With us or with them. It's very important.
And then you'll let me live?
That you live? No. Of course not.
Which is the crux of the whole film. The chef he's so broken, in my opinion, that he's divided everybody up into two sections of assholes, right? You're either a maker, a server, someone who belongs in the kitchen who can create stuff, or you're just a nasty consumer, an eater who belongs in the dining room, right? Anya Taylor-Joy though messed all that up because she was neither, right? She was just a person who could think for herself, and she didn't expect to be waited on hand and foot, but she also didn't expect to be borderline slave labor to people either. And the big twist is Anya Taylor-Joy's character is not named Margot. She's got a completely different name from a completely different background. She's not Nicholas Holt's girlfriend. She's Nicholas Holt's escort.
Yep.
She is an escort that was hired because Nicholas Holt broke up with his girlfriend, and I guess
he needed, the only way to get invitation in here is to have two people. You couldn't have one. And Ralph Fiennes knew that about. He knew everything about everyone in the room.
Except Margot. I thought that was interesting because that explains another reason why Nick Holt had to go, because he looked at this escort. He looked down his nose at her. He was like, you deserve to die. So you're going to come with me on the island. You're not worth anyone's time. No one's going to miss you. So he invited her to the island. And I thought that was like a really great twist because Anya Taylor-Joy is our main character. And turns out she's the character we knew the least about. We know everything about John Leguizamo's finances and stuff, but turns out we knew next to nothing about Anya Taylor-Joy, which I like that a lot.
The characters don't find out like what's really going on until I say about like 35 to 40 minutes within the film. By course 3, that's when they find out, because he gives them, which is really cool, tortillas with their sins on them.
Right, essentially, you're right. Yeah, so it's like photos of the old couple cheating on each other.
Nicholas Hoult was taking pictures of the food, even though that's the first thing they said. Do not take pictures of the food.
Right. So I had an issue with that, though.
Oh!
We learned later that Nicholas Hoult knew ahead of time. He might have been the only other person to know that everyone was going to die, that they were going to go on this boat and die. I think he was the only person in the dining room who knew that.
He's willing to sacrifice himself for this too, which is so weird.
That's how much of a groupie he is. But to me, if he knew ahead of time that he was going to die, why is he taking photos? So I was like, that didn't make any sense to me. But, whatever. That seems like something like maybe the script got a little disorganized or something there, but that's whatever. It didn't really affect the movie for me because I didn't think about it until afterwards. But the fact that I was even thinking about this movie afterwards, to me, tells you a lot about the quality of the film.
Yeah.
Me and Tyrone, we've seen a lot of movies on this show.
Yeah.
A lot. And I tell you right now, I was not thinking about Sonic when we left that theater, okay?
Yeah.
I will never forgive you for that, by the way, Tyrone, for making me go see Sonic.
That was my choice?
Yeah, I don't want to go see Sonic.
Oh, man.
But I'd been thinking about the menu for quite a while. I thought it was great. So I enjoyed this film more than I thought I would, and in a different way than I expected to. I mean, we've seen some great horror. I feel like, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I feel like we've seen some great horror films this year, and this is one of them for me.
I agree. I think we've seen some really good horror films. This has been a renaissance for horror this year because
I feel like it
because
was expecting it.
People are getting out of this whole phase of what is on a grander scale of what's scary.
Yeah, like a jump scare.
Yeah,
I don't
like
think that's scary. That's startling. That's a different emotion than fear. Right?
Exactly.
For me, I think a good horror film is one that you think about afterwards and you're still scared. Do you know what I'm saying? You're thinking about it and you're like, man, I would have hated to be in that situation. Oh my, and your heart starts to go, and you're just thinking about the film. To me, that's a horror film. I'm trying to think of the last time I accidentally saw a horror film and I'm not sure if I ever have. So I really enjoyed it. And I had to rewatch the trailer. I'm like, was this supposed to be a horror film? Because again, I thought this was some sort of annoying prestige thing, but no. I'm pleasantly surprised that this movie is what it is.
Yeah, me too. You want to get into the rating?
Let's do it.
All right. So acted very well from each person that was in this film. It was filmed here in Georgia, in Savannah. This movie was inventive. It had a deeper meaning that told. It said something. It wasn't. We've seen so many movies this year that wasn't talking about nothing. And what that do to Devin Harris? Don't bore me. Don't you ever bore me.
That's just rude. I paid money. Don't bore me.
So this did not bore me, and I'm pretty sure it did not bore him. I'm going to give this film a straight B.
I have been waffling between a B and a B+. And I think when I walked out of the theater, I thought this was a B+. But as time has gone on, I feel like it might have dropped down to a B, which is what I'm going to give it right now, a B. Like for my theater, you could tell there was a moment where the theater was like, oh, like everything changed. Like for my theater, it was kind of like a lively thing. People were talking and eating and stuff. But then, like you said, maybe about 35 minutes in, it was like silent. I was like, oh, look at this.
Look at that.
The movie got him. The movie reached out and was like, give me your attention. and it got him. I was like, oh, that's great. You know. So I did really enjoy this film. And I liked how the movie went around to every single person there and explained why they're here and why they deserve to die. They even explained why the chef deserved to die. Because apparently he sexually assaulted one of his sous chefs.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, wow, look at that.
That did happen.
And he was like, yeah, tried to smash her. she said no, so she gonna stab me right now. I was like, what? Yeah. And that's what happened. She was like, and she's like, stabbed him in the leg. So anyway, I liked all that stuff. That was great. And like you said, the movie's got a lot on its mind. I think it talks a lot about how customers are usually really rude to people in the service industry, and how also the service industry itself is a broken, messed up place where sexual assault is common, where you get worked literally to death, where suicide rates are high. And in this movie, we see examples of suicide. They talk about sexual assault. Like this, I like this movie a lot, and I think this movie really garners a second viewing. I think because, like I said, there's a big twist where we realize Anya Taylor-Joy isn't who we thought she was. So it would, and Nicholas Hoult wasn't either. So and these are our main characters. So I think a second viewing would be great, so we can see all the little hints and stuff, breadcrumbs that we might have missed. So I really enjoyed this film. This was a very pleasant surprise.
So do you recommend this, man?
I do recommend this film. I think this is a really good film. You'll really enjoy it.
Hey, man, I recommend this film too. I think people are going to go into this film very surprised by the end of this. But more importantly, do you, viewer, do you recommend this film if you've already seen it? Let us know in the comments down below if you do or you don't. I gave this film a B. Devin gave this film a B. Get out to the theaters and see the menu.
What the hell is going on?
I love you all.
We love you too, Chef!
Any questions?
Is this bergamot I'm getting, Chef?
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Our subscriber count has been going up. People have been loving what we've been doing, giving us awesome feedback in the comments and stuff like that.
Yeah, great.
And some praise, you know what I'm saying? We love that stuff. So if you can do us a favor and hit that subscribe button down there, it really, really helps us out. You know what I'm saying? And if you did like this rating and review, hit that thumbs up. All right? Or you can hit that thumbs down. Whichever you choose, it is your opinion. But just remember one thing. It is mostly wrong. Be nice to your servers. Tip them well. All right?
Or you might end up with scissors in your thigh.
For real.